Hello everyone and welcome once again to Python with Obinkojo. Today we'll be looking at another controls flow statement that is called a while loop. Alright, so while loop is a control statement that will keep on executing an instruction as long as a specific condition is true or false actually. Now, this is the syntax, the basic syntax of a while loop. So we have our whiles, and then a certain Boolean condition. So a Boolean condition, then something will happen. So while this condition is met, something is going to happen. And that is the code under this particular while loop is going to be executed. For while loop, as far as the condition is true, it will keep executing. This results in something we call that infinite loop. So to be able to control that, we can add an else statement so that when we reach a certain condition, then we go ahead and say, okay, then stop. So a typical example is, let's say you have a cat in the house and you want to write a program to feed the cat. So you say, while the cat is hungry, keep on feeding it. So it will keep feeding until the cat is full. So the moment the cat is full, you would say, okay, then stop feeding the cat. All right, we are right in our GPT notebook. So let's go ahead and explore the concept. So I'm just going to say a number. I'm just going to declare a variable number and I'm going to assign the value 1 to it. And I'm going to say while this number is less than or equal to 10, I want to go ahead and say print the number. So as long as this number is less than, it is 1, and it says as long as this number is less than or equal to 10, go ahead and print the number. If I run this code, remember that number is always less than or equal to 10. So if I run this code, so we forgot to add our colon. If I run this code now, you realize that 1 will keep printing, and this is an endless loop because there is no way 1 will ever be greater than, so 1 will forever be less than 10. So this becomes an infinite loop. And you can, in Jupyter Notebook, you would always see that with the star indicating that you are stuck in an infinite loop. You can just go ahead and say restart our kernel to fix that problem. And so it's been fixed, whether the star is gone. Now, a way to fix this problem is to automatically increase the value of this variable number. So initially, number was 1. After we print number, we would want to increment its value, let's say by 1. So now the new update, 1 will no longer be 1, but will be 2. Then we print that new number. So you see, after every step, we increase the value of 1. So this will keep happening until it gets to a point where 1 will be increased and 1 will no longer be less than or equal to 10. Then we would exit this loop. So let's just go ahead and then fix that here. So to do that in Python, I can just go and say number is equal to number plus 1. What is happening here? I'm saying that while number is less than or equal to 10, go ahead and print the number. After you've printed the number, update the number, update its value by picking the number and then adding 1. But the initial value of the number was 1. So here is going to be 1 plus 1. So the new value of number is now going to be 2. The moment the number is 2, it comes and checks again. While while 2 is less than or equal to 10, print 2, and then now update 2. Add 1 to 2, and then assign it back. So it will be 2 plus 1, and then it will be reassigned into number. Now number is 3. Remember, it's a loop. So number is now 3. So it comes and check again. This now is 3. So it comes and check again. While number, that is 3, is less than or equal to 10, go ahead. Is it true? So we'll print this 3 now. And then we go ahead and update the new value of number. So now it's going to be 3 plus 1. Let me just go ahead and run this. Good. So that is what has happened. So we pick the first one. Let's continue. So at this point, now the value is now 4. So we say while 4 is less than or equal to, go ahead and print 4. So we print 4. After we print 4, go ahead, pick the value of 4, add 1 to it. So now we end up getting 5. So we check, is 5 less than or equal to 10? If so, print 5. So we go ahead and print 5. Then we go ahead and update the value of number. So 5 plus 1 will now be 6. We check, is 6 less than or equal to 10? If yes, print 6. So we print 6. And then we go ahead and increase it. So 6 plus 1. And then we end up getting that. Now in Python, there is a short form of this. Instead of doing number equal number plus 1, you can just say number plus equal 1. And it is the same as number equal number plus 1. So if I run this, I'm going to get the same value. So that is the while condition for us. Let's go ahead and then look at an even obvious situation. So I'm just going to declare a variable. I'm going to call it a counter because we're going to use it to count something. I'm going to start the counter at 0. And I'm going to say that while this counter, so while the value of counter is less than 10, I would want to go ahead and see my counter plus or equal 1. Remember, this is the same as saying counter is equal to counter plus 1. So the original value of counter, then you add 1 to it. I'm just incrementing the value of counter by 1. Then I'll say print, I'll say F, and then I'll say iteration number. I will explain that, just give me a while. Iteration number 1 without right. And then I will step outside this loop, and then I'll print the end of while loop. Let's see while loop. All right, so now let me just go ahead and run this and I'll explain what is going on. Okay, so okay, to make it obvious, let me just bring this here so that it conforms with the first one so that you are not confused. All right, so I'm just going to run this and I'm going to get the same thing. So we started with a counter and the value of counter was 1. Now we check to see if, the counter value was 0. Now we check to see if counter is less than 10. If counter is less than 10, then go ahead and print this. We are just printing counter, but I'm just adding the string to make it obvious. So iteration also, that's the very first iteration, the very first loop. So the first time we check and 0 is less than 10, so we go ahead and then we print 0. That is what we've done here. Now we go ahead and increment the value of 0 by 1. That is what this does. Then we come back and check, is 1 less than 10? Yes. So we go ahead and print 1. After printing 1, we now increase the value of 1 by 1. So 1 plus 1 will be 2. Is 2 less than 10? Yes. So we print 2. Then we go ahead and increase the value of 2 by 1. So 2 plus 1 will be 3. Is 3 less than 10? Yes. So we keep doing this until we get to this point, and then we check 9, we print 9. Then after we print 9, we go ahead and then we check, okay. So we've printed 9, then we increase the value of 9 by 1. So 9 plus 1 is now 10. Then we come and check again. While 9, so is 9 less than, is 10 less than 10, it is false. So we exit this loop. The moment that happens, we are now done with this loop. It exists. So this print statement, we realize that it is not indented under the while loop statement. So it is outside, just to indicate that we have exited this loop. So we are at the end of our while loop. All right. Let us look at how we can use what we call the break statement to break while loops. Now, I'm going to declare a new variable and I'm going to assign the value 1 to it. And let's just go ahead and set, I'm just going to say while true, I would want you to go ahead and print number. And I would say, I would explain that. I'll say number plus equal 1. And then I would say if number is greater than 5, I want to break out of this. So we started with a value of number being 1, and I'm saying that while true. Remember, while the statement is true, while true, and the statement is always true, I'm going to print this number. So I print number, which is 1. Then I go ahead and increase the value of 1. So I'll keep doing that as we've discussed earlier. Then there is an if condition within the while statement. It says that while number is equal to 5. So we will keep incrementing. The moment we increment the value of number to 5, we break out of this loop. So we exit the loop. So this condition is giving us a limit where we need to get to. So let's just run this and see what happens. You realize that we keep on doing this. So we printed 1, we iterated. The moment 1 became, so at the point we printed 5. Now after printing 5, we test again. While we printed 5, then we incremented the value of 5 by 1 and it's now 6. So this condition, if number is greater than, so now 6, the value of number, which is 6, is now greater than 5. So we exit the loop. If I change this to 10, we'll keep on going till we get to 11. So after 10 is printed, we increment the value of 10 by 1 and we end up getting 11. Now 11 is greater than 10, so we break out of this loop. So that is how we can use the break statement to exit this loop. We'll be looking at more of these statements later on. That is that for today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We'll meet in our next lesson. Bye-bye.